Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome. It's 3 o'clock here in northern Colorado, and so that means it's time for Naturally Inspired Radio. I want to say a very special thank you and just express gratitude for all the veterans in our country and everywhere today. I just think it's so important that we never forget the sacrifice that people have made for our freedom. Now more than ever, I think, we have been made keenly aware how freedom isn't free, and that somewhere along the line, somebody's paid the price for us to be where we are today, even though it feels like the world is imploding. And there's a lot of, there's a lot of efforts to take away freedoms, and it's so hard. I mean, I'm going to get into it today, but I feel especially kind of rattled and confused today, just about again the news cycle and things that I have picked and plucked out of the news that I think you should know about. But that doesn't mean that the service that our military provided for us, I just don't want to take anything away from people who have served their country. I know there's a lot of veterans out there today that are getting, red-pilled about their service. And, there's a lot of questioning of our governments and the intention behind things, the intention behind wars, the intention. And, you think, well, how do you square that in your mind? How do you square it? Well, this is how I square it. I'm always on the side of the people. I'm on the side of our servicemen. I'm on the side of my neighbor. I'm on the side of the people of the country. Because whatever the cultists do, whatever the organized, gangsters do in our country, for me, it will never take away from the service people that served, because the intention of our military, everybody that gets into the military, they get into the military to serve their country. They get into the military because they are natural protectors and they're willing to put their own lives on the line to protect and serve. End of discussion. That has to be valued. Gratitude needs to be expressed for that. No matter what the gangsters do, I just want all the servicemen and women out there to know that your service is deeply appreciated. Deeply, deeply appreciated. And there aren't words actually to express gratitude for people that step up and serve, even in all this chaos. And I have such empathy for people who were lied to, and went into the military, and then they find things out, and I just, nobody blames you. Nobody blames you, and everyone's grateful for you, So, that's what I want to say. Just thank you so much for your service, all military and service men and women. We're so grateful for you. So grateful for you. So happy Veterans Day. And I hope everybody had a chance to kind of reflect on just that gratitude for our service people in this country. I'm going to get into why I feel a little rattled today. I don't know if you know this gal. She kind of popped up on our radar a few years ago. She was Canadian. She is Canadian. And she was like a truther. She was breaking stories in the media and expressing her thoughts about things. And, there was one of those people that you thought, this is very interesting. And then, there was a big kerfuffle around her, and she was like accused of maybe being a Russian plant, in service to the Russian propaganda of some sort. And I kind of thought, oh, that's weird, And then I didn't really think too much about it, and she kind of went away. And then she wrote a book, and there were some accusations, all kinds of drama, you guys, all kinds of drama. And her name is Lauren Southern. Well, she happened to post a video today that I invested some time in, and I just found it incredibly interesting. And I think that so many people need to see this video. And, I don't know. I don't know about her backstory. It's so hard to tell what's true and what's fake nowadays. And the content that I produce here, I'm really just trying to work it out. I'm not trying to sway anybody's opinion. I'm not trying to tell you what to think. I'm just looking at the absolute chaos of the world and trying to make sense out of it. Understanding that money is a big driver. Understanding that, corporations are in a race for control, that our government's working hand in hand with corporations, and that we're more run like a corporation than we are a country at this point. And just trying to, figure it all out. But I'll tell you, I'm going to play you a couple clips from her. And I think she's dead on here. I think she's dead on here because I have experienced this myself. Not understanding, why there seems to be suppression, not really understanding the manipulation of it all. Thinking, I think, a certain something like, hey, something's not right there. I don't know. Where'd this person come from? What's going on here? A little suspicious. Well, she reveals a lot through her journey and her experience. So take a listen. This is clip 1 of Lauren Southern.
I think there's very obvious spiritual and mental health reasons one would exit this space. But on a more sinister level, and one that I think is important to share, is that I was beginning to wonder if it was even possible to exist in the political media space anymore without being owned by governments, corporations, or cults. Often all three at once, in my opinion. And if not those things, I find even creators that have managed to be totally independent these days really struggle with audience capture. Just that feedback loop of what do people want to hear me say rather than what is accurate and what are my actual opinions. I think it is undeniable that everything online is feeling increasingly less authentic, a whole lot crazier, and a whole lot less reflective of reality. I spent a decade, like my entire adult life, in the political sphere, and it is impossible for me not to notice the constant, blatant manipulation, opinions being formed by astroturfing and bots, everyone just pumping out content based on headlines they've barely skimmed. I seriously don't trust anything people send me anymore. I find that one Google search I do for an opposing source almost always debunks every fact I think I know. And the worst part is, I know most people aren't doing this. Most people didn't spend their life in political media and grow extremely skeptical of the news, so they're just not going out of their way to Google, opposing sources. Instead, people's algorithms have schismed most of us into utterly different realities that are all fine-tuned to give us the perfect ideological lap dance. Oh yeah, what do you want to hear, baby? You're right. You're so right about everything. Never question anything in your life. Those people, every single one of them is evil, but not you. You've got it all figured out. We've entered a...
This is precisely what I have been talking about when I talk about the consciousness capture of your algorithm and how, we're so addicted to the portal now for dopamine hits that we rarely get the time or the space really, to contemplate, to really think about why we're assessing things the way we're assessing them and what the intention is of your algorithm. This morning I woke up to, and I'm sure you did too. I woke up to this whole Dave Portnoy thing, where he was accosted on the street and, anti-Semitism and every time I see something now where my whole timeline is a specific topic, I have to question why I'm seeing this. She reveals through this long video, hour and a half or so, things like, purposefully pumped out content by platforms, pumped up views like on YouTube and different platforms, that everybody's on a team here in the media. And we're talking about the dissonant media here. I mean, we know that the mainstream media has been captured by networks and big money everybody knows that. But I'm not sure that everybody understands that dissonant media is also organized in a similar way. If you can't tell how someone's making money off of their show, I would say be skeptical of that. And understand, and maybe you're on board with the content that they're putting out, and you fully subscribe to the same opinion as well. But I think transparency and how somebody is funding their voice is very, very, very important in today's climate. Stay tuned. I'll explain more when we come back. This is Naturally Inspired Radio.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Welcome back. Such a crazy, crazy topic here. I want you to understand how, your algorithm is manipulated, because maybe then people can kind of like pop their heads out of their algorithm and understand that perhaps what you're perceiving isn't actually the whole truth, right? So I'm curious, like, I'm just asking questions here, okay? I'm just asking questions. I'm trying to figure out, like, first of all, I don't follow Dave Portnoy. And the accounts that were posting Dave Portnoy's exchange with this young man, I don't follow them either. Yet my whole feed is full of this interaction. And I just find that curious. I don't know why. What's the point of this being on my algorithm? What's the point? You got to ask yourself, what's the point of this being on your algorithm? So I'm like, it's interesting because, if you wanted to get a lot of people to hate a specific group of people, here's what you do. You give a very specific group of people special rights, more privilege, right? And then you publicly persecute anyone that points it out or says anything bad about them. That would be a good way. Like, just think back to school. If there's a kid that's teacher's pet, and how many friends does teacher's pet have? Right? And then, say the teacher says, stay away from little Johnny. Leave little Johnny alone. You can't say that. Well, like little Johnny, why is little Johnny getting all this special treatment? Right? I mean, this isn't rocket science here. But it's like, interesting, And then add this Lauren Southern stuff in here where she's talking about how everybody's paid. Everybody. And in fact, like, it's very difficult to monetize a show. Let me tell you, I know that firsthand because I'm not taking any money from anybody, but you know exactly how I make my money, right? I sell wellness products. I sell clean, great wellness products. That's how I monetize my time here and fulfill my purpose. And I do feel like this is my purpose. This is my purpose, to bring hope to people, to expose, different ways to curate health in your body. You're not a victim here. Life is not doom and gloom. Like, there is hope. That's kind of my purpose here. That's what I feel called to do here every day. Say, hey, you're all right. You got this. Your body is magnificent. And you can totally handle this, right? Like, let's fuel the body in the right way. Let's understand this journey of life, that we can live in light. That a lot of the problems that we have in life are there because we're not understanding. We're not understanding our own capability. We're not understanding our own power. We're not walking into our power and using it. We're allowing ourselves to be victimized. We're allowing ourselves to be full of hate. We're allowing ourselves to be divided. And it doesn't have to be this way. There is a small group of people that want to control society for their own specific reasons, because of their investments in, not only just products and corporations, but ideology, right? And it's very culty. Cults are real. Cults are real. And, Lauren there says, they're either serving politics, they're serving a cult, they're serving something. And everybody seems to be on a side. And the two people that come to mind right now that don't seem to be on a specific side, well, they got a whole heck of a lot of hate getting thrown at them. Tucker and Candace. The left hates Tucker and Candace. The right hates Tucker and Candace now. But you know what? The people, they're not so sure yet. We're not entirely sure yet. Like, why are you trying to get me to hate these people? What's going on here? Everything feels fake. Everything feels fake. It feels contrived. It feels like, why are you trying to get me to feel this way or feel that way? And I think the very best thing we can do is feel nothing. Interesting. I'm going to play you the second clip here. This again is Lauren Southern describing a little bit, and I'll get into a little of her backstory too, because it's just fascinating, really, when you think about it. Her government, that's the Canadian government, applied an enormous amount of pressure on this young woman, journalist, to try to turn her into an asset of the government's. They wanted her as an asset. They wanted to control her. They wanted to make everything, pay her to be an informant of sort, an asset of theirs. And she's revealing this, and she's got the receipts here. She's got recorded calls that she had with the feds in Canada. Very interesting. Take a listen.
Cancel and kind of destroy the other side. Everyone has infinite motivation to sell out, to not tell the truth, to have no mercy or understanding for anyone else, to not stick to their moral principles. Just everyone, and they all have very stories that you can sympathize with for the reasons for doing so. And to put the cherry on top, everything is utterly godless. The performative Christianity even more so than anything else, which means even more bad actors taking control of the whole political sphere. And it doesn't cost much either. It doesn't take much money to buy an influencer even when they're not canceled. And all of it is made to look authentic to the average person consuming political content. That's the purpose. And it's not just foreign governments or domestic, but criminals doing this as well, buying your psyche by purchasing the opinion of media figures and botting your feeds, and therefore making themselves valuable in the eyes of politicians, therefore making themselves have more sway behind the scenes to influence their cases, their travel. Because this is all of this stuff, if the way that the system works, whether you're banned from countries or not, my ban to America, I wasn't allowed to go for 2 years, was lifted the second I had a friend in the administration that I could call up to get it lifted. These things aren't based as much on the law or seeming rules that you would think they are. They're based on whose friends are in power and whose aren't, right? So there is a lot of benefit to manipulating the psyche to get yourself power, especially if you're doing criminal things, which our government across the Western world just seem fully unequipped to deal with, as digital crime is on the rise and we just live in this increasingly low trust society day by day where everything is becoming a scam, everything is becoming manipulation behind the scenes.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it feels like. Just my intuition, just my intuition feels like she's precisely dead on there. Where she's talking about everything feels manipulated. I tell you, in the media space, I just have a health show. I'm just trying to change the medical model because I want people to get more, better results with their health. I want to preserve medical freedom. I'm very concerned we're not going to have freedom of choice over our bodies in the future very quickly here. And, but I do know enough that it feels like everything is manipulated. This astroturfing that she talks about here, astroturfing is the illusion of grassroots support. When really you got some big funder behind you, right? So you think, oh, how cool, like Black Lives Matter. Right? That was like, oh man, that was a gooder. That was a good one. We're all going to black out for this day to show, oh my God, the money behind that, the rioting and the summer of love and all that stuff, the money behind that, like, really, is there really people still thinking that this stuff is like just, grassroots support? And it comes from every side. I'm not picking on one side here really, because the left does it, the right does it too. Of course they do. I mean, it doesn't take much to fund a creator. And then it doesn't take much. It's like the push of a button. Jason and I were discussing this because you can imagine how frustrating this line of work has been for us, because we're just trying to get a health message out here. We have pivoted and done like so much stuff for me to be able to do what I really want to do, my purpose. We have thrown massive events, right? Where we sold tickets to it. We flew in speakers. We've done all this stuff. And nobody's ever reached out to us to like collaborate or connect in a meaningful way. Ever. I had 1,000 people the first year at my Naturally Inspired Health Summit. The next year I had 2,000 people. I had Peter McCullough there the first year. Very little collaboration. Very little. In fact, I would say we had people that worked to destroy the event. So a lot of this stuff is really making a lot of sense to me today. I'm just trying to express what you're seeing on your screen is not organic. There's a reason for it. Stay tuned. Let's get into it a little bit more when you come back.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
What do we do? Well, we help people get healthier, and I do that inside the Naturally Inspired community. So if you're looking for a way to get the health, the optimum health that you've always wanted, all you have to do is become a customer. Become a customer at naturallyinspiredstore.com. You know, people buy vitamins, they buy collagen, they buy wellness products. Everybody seems to be on to big pharma nowadays. And they know, that maybe a pill and a pharmaceutical isn't the answer, right? People want to be on less pharmaceuticals. And so if you want to be on less pharmaceuticals, if you want to understand how to cultivate health, then you need to get into a community. A community that practices a healthy lifestyle. And when you become part of the Naturally Inspired community, you get our Tuesday night weekly wellness workshops. So we have one tonight at 7:00. You get my health text line for guidance. I can point you in the right direction for the information you need to make your own critical decisions about your health. And so much more. It truly is a growing community, and we'd love to have you. So join us at naturallyinspiredstore.com. So, I'm just, like I said, I think today that this girl's, Lauren's video really made a lot of sense to me. And I wanted to share it with you so that when you're consuming information online, you always have this question in your mind, like, why am I seeing this? Why am I seeing this? Why am I, it's one thing to see one post, but I'll tell you, my whole feed was this thing with Dave Portnoy today, who, by the way, runs a gambling outfit, right? Gosh, sometimes it just seems like, you got to be doing kind of shady, less ethical things in the world today to get ahead, It's okay. And no, I don't even know the guy. I know he does pizza reviews or whatever, but there's some other stuff floating around that, doesn't really seem all that appealing, just some pretty raunchy videos of the guy and whatnot. And it's just wow, wow. But it explains a lot to me, what she's talking about here. So, the cops show up at her house. She's this young single mom. The cops show at her house. They're pressuring her. They show up at her gym. They're trying to flip her as a Fed asset for the Canadian government. And they're applying a lot of pressure on her. And that's the reality, right? You've got to understand that media is power. And just because we don't, put that much stock in the networks anymore, doesn't mean that we've kind of taken the same thing. The pharmaceutical companies fund 75% of all the advertising budget of these mainstream news networks. Well, same thing's happening. It's just happening in influencer accounts now. Right? They're going, hey, this person's getting, quite a few views or what have you. Let's dump some money into this person. And then, also, I think there's a pay to play in the back of these platforms like YouTube and Rumble. And there's something else going on there as well. So like Jason said, he'll post something and he'll come back to the platform and there's he's just being fed videos, right? Just being fed videos. And some of these videos he's being fed, it's like, why? Who chooses what you're being fed? It's like, oh, it's just all the algorithm. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. It's very orchestrated. Okay. It's very orchestrated. It's very pay to play. There's more than meets the eye here. I can tell you this. I've been doing this for 6 years. On radio stations. I am not permitted allowed. I'm not permitted on Facebook. Don't know why. My Instagram, it barely grows, And this little interesting story, I thought, well, I'm a perseverer. I keep pushing forward. I keep what else can I do? I'm going to throw events. I can reach out to people. I can start a text line, answer questions, And so I thought, well, what about Nextdoor? Maybe I can help people with their health through Nextdoor. So, do a post on Nextdoor. So I go to get on Nextdoor, which I have an account on there, but I never post on it. I went to log on to my Nextdoor and my screen went blank. It just went blank white. And at the top of it, it said the word throttle. 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 What does throttle mean, right? I to tell you, I'm an analog girl living in a digital world. I say that all the time. So I don't even know that this is actually a tech term. And when I looked it up, oh yeah, it means that you're being suppressed. They showed me the code. Now, why would I be suppressed on Nextdoor? I'm a holistic nutritionist, right? I connect people to real solutions for health. I'm throttled on Nextdoor? Am I throttled on Nextdoor? What is this? My YouTube videos get 0 views. Again, I've been doing this 6 years. I've interviewed top experts. I've had Peter McCullough the day after Peter McCullough was on Joe Rogan. He was on my podcast. That video was not allowed to be posted on YouTube through my platform. What is going on here? What the heck is going on here? Because this doesn't feel like freedom at all. I just want fair marketplace. I'm not asking for any favors. I don't want anybody to pump my content out for free. But also, I am just a girl with a dream here. I just really wanted to make a difference in natural health. And I really get it from all sides, actually. I really get it from all sides because people are skeptical of me because my product line is a network marketing company. So I must be a scam because I sell network marketing products. They're good products. I have to monetize my show. Do you know how much time I put into this? I live this. I live this. I get up every morning and I go straight to my health text line and I answer your questions. Because I want to make a difference in your life. So I have people who love my content, they say, but I'm a little bit skeptical because she sells network marketing. You know what? Because network marketing gives me the freedom to do this. And they're great products. I use them myself. But you're going to judge me? Really? I got people over here who are taking money for posts. I would never take money for posts. Just promote this hormone therapy. Just promote this pharmaceutical product. And I would have no money problems, I'm sure. But I don't do that. And so you can't win. You know what I mean? You can't win. And so this, I hate to be dumping all this on you today, but like this really hit me. This Lauren Southern thing really hit me today because I was like, wow, the whole thing's a scam. They're pumping out videos. They're getting paid to pump out videos. They're suppressing videos. I'm being throttled. Who am I? Trying to get people healthy? 76% of Americans are walking around with a chronic illness right now. Families are devastated. Moms are sick. They can't take care of their kids. Like, we have a real problem here. And I'm just trying to do something about that. But this is a totally foreign world to me, where assets are being flipped in the influencer. Who cares? Like, influencer. I freaking hate that word. It's so stupid. We're being captured by our algorithms. And like she said, this is like a lap dance for you, curated for you to stay on the platform. To stay on the platform. To make money off you. To capture your consciousness. To distract you. To distract you. You're not going to do anything if you're distracted all the time. And it makes it all the more easy to usher you right into culture control. Like, I don't think people understand how manipulated this whole thing is. I don't think they have a clue. And I don't know that I honestly would have a clue as to how manipulated to it. Like, I'm wondering who isn't getting paid at this point. Like, it's almost like they had to pick a side in order to keep doing what they've been doing. Because I know how hard this is. And I'm telling you, like, my lifestyle pales in comparison to what these other people need to fund, So I can only imagine. And then the spiritual aspect of it makes me want to puke, Because how many Christian influencers are there? Are you getting paid for that? Really? Like, I don't know. I can come up, like, there's all these like Christian influencers, like they're just like, kind of makes you rethink things, Because I'm not sure how a lot of them are making their money. How are you getting paid? Is it to pump out a very specific narrative? Because according to Lauren Southern, it totally is. And it seems that way. It really, really seems that way. I don't know. You gotta be a critical thinker. That is for sure. Stay tuned. I've got your naturally inspired moment up next, and it's a very important one.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
Listen, I want to apologize. I mean, like, I feel like I'm just venting on you today, but I guess, this wasn't my intent to like bring this into like a personal experience of mine, but like, I guess like if you know anything, if you've listened to my show for a while now, I'm like terrible. First of all, I'm terrible at like covering stuff up. I say I'm not going to say something and I just can't do it. I just can't do it. I tell Jason, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to go there because I don't want the repercussions. And then here I am talking about it again. But this is who I am. And I guess I'm not going to apologize for who I am. This is who I am. I do want to know the truth. I always want to know the truth. And I want to figure out what in the hell is going on here. You can't tell us we live in a free country if we don't. You manipulated us with feelings and all this stuff to make us like love our country and think that we're like free and we're this and then like it doesn't feel that way. Because it doesn't. It truly does not feel that way. And I don't know. I just can't even really wrap my head around the fact that my kids won't have the same opportunities that I've had. And I'm really worried about that. And you should be too. If they take away purpose from humans, it's going to be a bleak world. And when I say, you may think that you want universal basic income and you want the government to make all your decisions for you. And, you think, oh, yeah, this is the way. You're going to find yourself in a deep, deep depression at some point. We just aren't wired that way. We need spark in our lives. We need purpose. We need to feel meaningful. And the way this whole Great Reset is designed, that's not of their concern. Shut up and do what you're told. And manipulating media and like dividing and creating chaos because you got like two sides of the same coin trying to get there first. Everybody wants to be in control of the digital revolution, the Great Reset, the repurposing of society. Everybody, every corporation, it's all about money. It's all about money and control. And screw anybody who isn't at the head of the race, Like the middle class is evaporating. It's been evaporating for decades, but like when this whole Great Reset goes into play, it is going to be like breadlines and the uber rich. And I mean like the uber rich, the billionaires. They'll be doing the flying and all that. You won't be. You won't be able to afford the carbon credits. And that's not hyperbole. Like this is a very crucial time. It's so important though that we, like I say, we embrace our higher faculties right now and we become creators. One of the mechanisms that keeps people down from expressing their creativity and being a creator and bringing their light to the world is something I call people pleasing. It's a mechanism that is used to like keep you in your place. And so that is what the Naturally Inspired Moment is about today. It is about 5 powerful points about why a creator must stop people-pleasing and start self-pleasing if they truly want to grow and create authentically. This topic's come up a lot in my life recently because I have like 2 artists in my family. Well, I have 3 artists in my family. But my 2 kids right now are starting out in their lives, and they're both artists. My daughter's a dancer and my son's a musician. And, with all of the social pressure of social media, and neither one of them likes being on social media. It's they have to push themselves to get out there in social media. And, so one of the topics that we end up talking about a lot is being true to your art. Instead of, dancing to please who's critiquing you or who's watching you, you've got to dance for yourself. Because I explained to her when she was, 7, first starting dancing, you're not going to be the right person for everybody. And I want you to understand that I truly started explaining this to her when she was 7. You've got to dance because you love to dance. You've got to, attach to the music, tell the story because you want to, translate it. You want to evoke a feeling in somebody and, make it be part of the beauty of life. You want to inspire people. You want to make them feel a certain way. The same reason why people make music. They're telling you stories. They want to connect and relate to you. But you cannot dance for approval. You can't dance for approval from your favorite choreographer, from your, to get a part, to do this, to win a competition. You can't do it. Because guess what? Every time you get up on a stage and dance, the people who are judging you, they're looking for something. You have no idea what they're looking for. You can only guess. So every time you get on stage, you're going to be trying to please everybody else. Look at me. And that will be an endless, tiring, exhausting endeavor because you can't control how people see you. So if you're going to be a creator, you have to create for yourself. You cannot create to win the approval of other people. You just can't. People pleasing kills originality. When you create to please everyone, you dilute your message until it's forgettable. True creativity comes from conviction, not consensus. The most impactful voices in history weren't agreeable, they were authentic. Your purpose can't run on external validation. As a creator, you can't build consistency off of applause. Some days your work will resonate deeply. Other days, silence will test your belief. That's when pleasing yourself, knowing why you create, keeps the fire alive inside of you. I would just say, everybody's born to create. Everybody's born to create. I don't care if you're building houses, if you are writing books, if you are, making music, if you are dancing, whatever it is, like if you are cooking, we're all born to create. Creating is the light on the planet. And the darkness, well, that's the co-opting of creating and the synthesizing of it. The fakeness of it. Because you know what? Darkness can't create. So they have to steal, they have to manipulate, they have to, make it into something else. And then they put it out and call it their own. Boundaries protect your creative energy. So when you say yes to every demand or every opinion, you say no to your own personal creation. So protect your time, protect your peace, and protect your process. Creativity needs space, and people-pleasing crowds it out. And I think, a lot of people, they feel like, especially in the media space, they have to be opportunistic. Well, I'll do this or I'll do that. I'll talk about this. I'll talk about that just to be popular. And what you end up doing when you do something like that is you're not being authentic. Yeah, you're not everybody's going to like you. It's the same thing with music, right? Not everybody likes every musician. But that's the beauty of this experience on this planet, is that we're drawn to certain things. Oh, I just have so much, like that song really spoke to me. That dance really spoke to me. Like, you have to be okay being yourself and not care about other people's opinion of you, or you're going to lose yourself. You won't know who you are. And I think a lot of people struggle with that. I think America is struggling with an identity crisis at this point. I really do, because we've allowed people to say, don't say that, don't go here, you're a racist, you're this, you're that, everyone's telling us who we are, and we're just like, I don't know. I'm not going to say anything. Now I can see, I can really see how we got where we are. We forgot who we were and how important it is to own your creativity, to be a creator, to follow your path. So many people, we took jobs in place of our creativity because we thought, well, I got to make money. Oh, I need health insurance. And now people tell us all the time, you don't have culture. You don't have culture now. Because we ran around trying to please everybody. Now we don't even know who we are. Real connection starts with truth, not performance. Audiences don't crave perfection, they crave honesty. When you create from your authentic center, you attract the right people, those meant to grow with you. The rest will fall away naturally. Number 5, self-pleasing fuels longevity. Creating from self-approval builds resilience. Yeah, know who you are. Know who you are. Pleasing others gives you a moment of comfort, right? Pleasing yourself builds a lifetime of fulfillment. The more you honor what excites you, the more unstoppable your creative flow becomes. I think that's a real issue. When we worry about how other people are perceiving our creativity, boop. Because I believe that artists, specifically artists, they're kind of conduits. That you listen to a lot of really great songwriters talk about, where the song came from. And it's like, they just get in a flow state, right? And they just kind of like, this is what I'm supposed to say. And this is just like coming through me. And it just like, this is what happens. This is the product. When we're trying to please everybody, say the right thing, don't overstep, we're worried people are going to judge us, boom, that connection gets severed. You have to capture flow state. That is your consciousness. Don't allow the algorithm to control your consciousness. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio. Save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome back. This is hour 2 of Naturally Inspired Radio. I am so glad you're joining me. In the first hour, we were talking about how manipulated even dissonant media is, revealed by Lauren Southern out of Canada. Her experience, I feel like she just, she was young. She is young, and I feel bad for her. I feel like she really got tore up, and, they really attacked her. I think she was like, she had a few vulnerabilities, and I think they knew it. And I think they exploited those vulnerabilities, and I just feel bad for her. And she is, she's being brave, I feel like, here, exposing how the federal government wanted to turn her into an asset, and that her experience through the dissonant media was one that was revealed that everybody was getting paid. From some particular issue, everybody was getting money, for saying things or what have you. And so what does that do to our culture? It controls it. It's social engineering, when all we see on our algorithms is people who are getting paid for a very specific story, a very specific pro viewpoint. And it's not truth, It just like, I don't know if your mom told you this, but like, I remember my mom saying at one point, like most of the time, the truth is somewhere in the middle. you know? It's somewhere in the middle. Like, this is wrong, that's wrong. And it's usually so much more nuanced than this person's totally wrong, this side's really wrong. Like, you know, there's a little bit of both going on here. And that's usually where the truth lies, is somewhere like, yeah, this side did that, but also that side did this, you know? So it's like, but as citizens, I feel like we're just getting the squeeze every day. Manipulated and squeezed, and you know, it's like, it's just exhausting. And so I'm grateful that you join me every day to talk about this. I've started a new segment. I started it yesterday, and I'm really excited about it because it is my counter to these people who are boldly stating that America has no culture. America has no culture. It's only the immigrants here that make up American culture. It's their culture. That's America has no culture. What are you talking about? My gosh. It's actually known as the coolest country in the world, and that's why everybody wants to come here. So yesterday I talked about rock and roll, totally American. Totally American. Also, the best music, well, that in my opinion, it's the best music, but the most popular music on the planet, rock and roll. Guess who invented that? Americans. Just saying. And so I got another one for you today, and it is about the rodeo and the cowboy. Yeah, so here's a little, just a little from the History Channel, a little background on cowboying and rodeo. And although, you know, the roots of it came from the Spanish, Americans turned it into something totally just, that's American culture right there. That's American culture right there. You take a little something, just something that's just real little, and you just turn it into this massive thing. I think that's a great way to define American culture. They see something. There's something good here. Now we're going to blow it up into this massive thing. And that's precisely what they did with the cowboy and then ultimately the rodeo. Check this out.
Mama cow is going to weigh anywhere from 1,000 pounds upwards to, maybe 1,500 pounds. Everything about a roping cowboy comes directly from the Spanish cowboys. The Mexican cowboys come across the border. You're always looking for better ways to work cows, more efficient ways to work with your livestock. It always ends up that you adopt something from a different culture.
It's time to meet the bull riders. It's time for the PBR.
They're not light animals, and they don't necessarily comply. They don't understand English, so they can be quite a handful. You need every advantage you can, and a lot of that has to do with having a great horse, having a great saddle. The equalizer for us is the rope. You've only got so much time, and they're a good way to hurt yourself is getting right next to those big cows, and let alone bulls that'll get you down and hook you, step on you, kick you. Cows will do the same. You got to be in tune. Kind of got to take your windows when you can. Be careful, pay attention. Things can happen. Not forcing things. It's kind of hard to force something that weighs 10 folds more than you do. It makes it difficult sometimes, so you certainly want a good cow. Cows are not to be messed with as far as taken lightly.
So like I said, they took this culture, this little, seed of culture from vaqueros, which, they were doing these just like around campfires. So, they were herding cattle and whatnot. And, they were doing these little things in front of campfire and seeing how good they could be at wrestling calves and whatnot. And American culture took that and they turned it into something totally different. So the rodeo, which is actually comes from the Spanish word rodear, to round up. It began as livestock roundups on Spanish ranches in Mexico and the American Southwest as early as the 1700s. So these vaqueros would show off their horsemanship and cattle handling skills just during ranch gatherings. And these events included roping, bull handling, even bronco riding, and just daily skills, So it was very community oriented. But the American transformation, when American settlers moved west into Texas and beyond, they adopted these skills and turned them into contests. So after the Civil War, cowboys on long cattle drives would hold impromptu rodeos to test each other's skills. And in towns like Pecos, Texas, Prescott, Arizona, Cheyenne, Wyoming, they hosted some of the very first organized rodeos. And these events added rules, judges, and prizes and transformed ranch chores into competitive entertainment. So the modern rodeo in the early 1900s became an organized American sport with professional cowboys traveling circuits and major events. The events like bronco riding, steer wrestling, calf roping, bull riding. The Rodeo Cowboy Association, now Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association, was formed in 1945. And rodeos became a centerpiece of Western fairs, patriotism, and frontier heritage, spreading even internationally. So, the size of this thing, you guys. So one time, Jason and I were in Vegas for a conference, and we ended up staying at his brother's condo, which they're really into horses. And one of his brothers is really into horses. And so we stayed at his condo, and it was the cowboy Christmas thing going on there. And so this was totally foreign to me. I'm like, I'd never even really been to I had no idea. I had no idea how big this thing was. And I was in an elevator with a cowboy who was almost crying and talking to his wife on the phone. And he had just missed out on $150,000 because he lost his ride. Like he lost his event. And that just I was like, what? What is going on with rodeo? What is? So listen to this. It's a $326 million economic impact in 2024. The National Finals Rodeo in Las Vegas draws 340,000 people. 200 million it generates. The National Western Stock Show in Denver, that's right here, 171 million in economic activity. And the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association sanctioned 790 events in 2023. It's a professional rodeo bull riding. Estimates the rodeo as a whole saw 227 million in economic impact. The broader U.S. equine industry is even bigger than that. The rodeo industry is a strong niche segment within U.S. sports, entertainment, and agriculture. Even very large individual rodeo events rival big sporting and cultural events. 326 million impact is comparable to some Super Bowls in local economic terms. This is all stemming from your American culture. This is your culture. Cowboying. Rodeo, sport, community, building something out of nothing. That's who you are. Don't let other people tell you you have no culture. You have an incredible culture. Yeah, you're loud. That's okay. Sometimes you have to be loud in order to make impact. And nobody does that better than Americans. So you can continue to apologize for your no culture, or you can proudly start to claim it and shape your own culture. Because as I said so many times, if you do not step up to claim your culture and shape it yourself, other people gladly will. And let me tell you, they are. They are. They're coming here to extinguish American culture. And if you're too afraid to claim your culture, that will happen. Claim your rodeo. It's yours. You did that. You support it. You love it. It's America. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen.
If you're just joining us and you're wondering what the heck is going on Naturally Inspired Radio, I'll tell you, I've added an American segment because, last week we were told once again that we don't have American culture. There is no culture here. And so, yeah, we're going to spend some time. We're going to spend some time reacquainting everybody with American culture because we most definitely do have American culture. And it's pretty awesome. So I just want to remind you, culture is the shared pattern of beliefs, values, behaviors, customs, language, art, and social norms that define a group of people. It's essentially how we do things around here. And we've got to make sure that we claim our culture. Language and communication shapes how people express ideas and relate to one another. Our gestures, our tone, our humor, it all differs in between cultures. And how we do things around here is we kind of give each other a hard time from time to time. And that signals to other people that we care. But we like to have fun. And we're a little rough and tumble. But that's okay. Because we have some awesome customs, some awesome traditions. And we're no longer apologizing for them. And if you would like to become part of the rodeo, we welcome you. But this is how we do things around here. That's all we're saying. We're not changing it because we've worked hard on it and we've built some really big industry up and we're doing pretty good. So we're not changing it. But you're more than welcome to join. Of course, you're more than welcome to join. Well, some good news I want to move on to because I cannot believe this, you guys. I have been talking about, I'm one of the crazy ones that talked about the chemtrails before the chemtrails were even known. Everybody just totally thought, well, I can understand about big pharma. I can understand about big pharma. I can understand what you're saying about the food. But do you really think there's chemtrails? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And I think they're having a way bigger impact on our health than we even realize. We've got some issues with respiratory. We've got an Alzheimer's epidemic, a dementia epidemic. And we know that aluminum is a problem. It's actually a poison to humans. And so the good news I have is that I would say Tucker Carlson has a pretty big platform, right? Regardless of what you think about Tucker, it doesn't matter. He's got a big platform. Millions of people watch him, right? Guess who he had on? Guess who he had Dane Wigington on? I got a couple clips for you. Let's go to him. Here's one.
Question, okay? You may have seen this, and I'm quoting from Wikipedia as of this morning. The chemtrail conspiracy theory is the erroneous belief that long-lasting condensation trails left in the sky by high-flying aircraft are actually, quote, chemtrails, consisting of chemical or biological agents sprayed for nefarious purposes undisclosed to the general public, period. Believers in this conspiracy theory say that while normal contrails dissipate relatively quickly, contrails that linger must contain additional substances. Those who subscribe to the theory speculate that the purpose of the chemical release may be solar radiation management, weather modification, psychological manipulation, human population control, biological or chemical warfare, or testing of a biological or chemical agent on the population, and that the trails are causing respiratory illnesses and other health problems.
Can you believe that? That's amazing. I did when I pulled the clip there, I got it off of YouTube. And of course, they have a little disclaimer on the bottom that says chemtrails is such a bunch of crap, right? That's not real. That's not real. We see them every day, right? We see them every day. Actually, on our hike on Saturday or on Sunday, I took some pictures of them. I always take pictures of them because, we got to document this stuff. Right? We got to document this stuff. So anyway, Dean's been doing this for, a very long time. And he points out a very important fact here is that language is often weaponized against the population. So it's kind of like the term conspiracy theory. Oh, that's a conspiracy theory. It's interesting that term was never even really a term until JFK was assassinated. And then it spawned up, that's just a conspiracy theory. Well, what do we know now? What do we know now? Something's going on. Have we really even gotten to the truth around JFK or whatever? No. But certainly, I think we can all agree something's going on. You're not telling us the truth here. Why so secretive? There's a lot of people that have dedicated decades of their life to studying that event. And I think I think most people have some questions about it. And so it's not about a conspiracy theory at all. There's facts here involved. And the term conspiracy theory is just a way to manipulate people to dismiss the topic completely. And that's what happened with chemtrails. I think chemtrails is kind of like the last domino standing for a lot of people that find out, oh my gosh, maybe the world doesn't work the way I thought it did. But certainly the chemtrail stuff is BS. Certainly the chemtrail stuff, that's crazy. Is it? Let's listen to the next clip here before we go to break. Dean on Tucker Carlson.
Now, in testing institutions, we found exactly what we knew we would find, starting with aluminum nanoparticles. Bioavailable freeform aluminum is toxic to all life, period. That element is named in numerous climate engineering patents as part of a geoengineering dispersion element. So again, there's no theory involved in any of this. And what's so incredibly profound in this equation, Tucker, you have the entire global climate science community, governments all over the world saying we need to put aircraft in the air immediately to disperse light scattering particles. And we use the science terms at geoengineeringwatch.org because the chemtrails term is the instant marginalization term by design. You bring that term up, any elected official won't talk to you anymore.
I know what you might be thinking. You're thinking well, why would they do that? This is harmful. It is. It's harmful to human life. It's harmful to our soils. It's harmful to our wildlife. It causes a lot of harm. And I'm here to tell you, I don't know why. precisely. Now I have some ideas. And there's certainly, some pieces I can kind of put together of why they would do this, but I don't know why. We're going to have to ask them. We're going to have to bring the topic up, right? I mean, we do have legislation now in like Tennessee and other states that are making laws saying, you know what? Spraying over our state is illegal. So on one side of the books, the law books, we have lawmakers making laws to ban it. And on the other side, we still have YouTube that says, this is conspiracy theory. Wikipedia, conspiracy theory. That's not true. Do you see what I'm saying about the chaos and the spin? And, do we really know? Like, at this point, do you really, I think it's a great time for all of us as citizens that we just come together. It's like, we need to find out what's really going on here. I think we can stop the fighting and the left against the right and just be like, I feel like maybe we should be looking up. That maybe my problem isn't with you. I know there's going to be people that are slow to snap out of the brainwashing because, again, that dopamine, that consciousness that's captured, right? Like Lauren Southern said, the virtual lap dance. You're right. Just confirming every idea that you have. You're right. I don't know. I could sit here and speculate to you and tell you I could speculate, okay? But people who say, I have inside intelligence and I know this or I know that, you know what? I don't know. Nobody's feeding me special intelligence. So I'm just here as a human being, as a citizen on this planet Earth as well, saying like, this is an issue. This is definitely an issue. I have these big troughs outside to, give water to my cattle, to my llama, and there's a film on there all the time. And I don't know what that film is. But I do see these streams in the sky all the time. And sometimes after, they're sprayed, then we get this like hazy cloud. And this isn't one time. This isn't two times. Like this is many times over. And then if you dive into Dean's work, he's an engineering type of mind and has dedicated his whole life to this topic. And if you've ever interviewed anybody on geoengineering, like I have, Matt Lamond, who made a whole documentary about it as well, you start to see the science behind it and, the samples and the testing and, you start putting the pieces together. And then you think, well, why does this evidence exist if this is a conspiracy theory? I don't know why. Perhaps they feel like they need to dim the sun, like Bill Gates talks about all the time. Perhaps they feel like they need to manipulate weather. I don't know. Human beings are electrical beings. We're kind of impacted by sunshine. We're impacted by the frequency of the earth. We're impacted by the food we eat and the soils that are, tainted where we grow our food. Like there's a lot of things here. I don't feel like it's just like one thing. Oh, we're doing this because, this. I think we need informed consent. And I think the problem, whether we can argue about, what this is, who's doing it and why. Okay. But the top chief concern is that this is making a negative impact on people's health. We have respiratory issues off the charts. We have Alzheimer's. We're not healthy. And so at this point in time, we need to be looking at all the variables that could be contributing to this poor level of health that we're experiencing in our country. All of it. We got to look at all of it. And if you're going to tell me, oh, don't look over here, this is conspiracy theory, I got a problem with that. Let's just check it out and see what it's doing to people. For real. If it's not doing anything, then it's not doing anything. Why are you hiding it? Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Everyone, visit naturallyinspiredstore.com. Pick yourself up some cellular reset, some liquid low molecular weight collagen, a multivitamin, clean detergent, clean soap, clean makeup, wonderful skincare, all free of all the toxins you could possibly imagine, all tested for over 2,400 different impurities and toxins. It's a wonderful line of products, and every time you buy from it, you are committing to the Naturally Inspired community, and you are helping us fund this show and getting this message out to more and more people so that people can take personal responsibility for their health, get way better results with their health, and not have to suffer. You're also, I think, working towards preserving freedom for our children when it comes to medical decisions, because the more people understand what's really going on in the medical model, the more that they will make different decisions when it comes to their health, and that will preserve freedom for our kids, for our grandkids. Nobody should have to, be mandated to do something to their body when they know in their deepest, darkest, areas of their soul that it's not right for them. It's not right for them. Health isn't a one-size-fits-all type of modality that you apply to everybody in the same way. Wouldn't you know it? We're all individuals, people. Wouldn't you know it? Isn't that crazy? God made us all individuals, and so we should have the right to individual choice. That's what you support when you support Naturally Inspired. So head on over there today, make a purchase, get into the community, and receive all the benefits. Tonight we'll have a Tuesday night weekly wellness workshop, and it's going to be a good one, so you'll want to join us. And you can just by making a $50 purchase. Get into the community today at naturallyinspiredstore.com. The next story, so, we're dealing with all this stuff. Like I said, there's this algorithm that's pumping you out the latest, thing that you need to be outraged about every single day. And, I feel like every day we get a little bit less and less worried about COVID. And I'm not talking about COVID, the disease. I'm talking about what happened during COVID, right? Which was the biggest crime committed against humanity ever. It really was. You got to think about it. It came out of a lab. It was funded by your government. It was released into the public. They shut down the world. People lost their jobs. People died. We were mandated to wear masks. The psychological impacts are still not fully known. And I don't think we underestimate them. We should still be talking about this. Here's another one. So I covered this many years ago, but did you know that 86% of the PCR tests positive were not real cases of COVID? Whoopsie. So there's a new study out. It's a peer-reviewed study. It's out of Germany. And it finds that during the early pandemic period, only 14% of PCR COVID cases were real. So remember when your CNN was, oh, case. You know, the little ticker along the bottom. Oh, we got another case. Remember when they were stirring up that panic? Yeah, it turns out 86% of those cases weren't real. Yeah. So, you know, your entire life that was upended because of, pandemic. It was all based on cases. And it turns out, well, I could have told you that just by the fact that, I knew people that supposedly tested positive, but they didn't have any symptoms. But they had to stay home, I mean, sometimes when I think back, I'm just like, wow. I just, just wow. Right? It was a massive psychological operation. And yes, people did get sick. I'm not saying that people didn't get sick. They did get sick. Yeah, there was definitely something going around. But the psychological operation around it, there was just so many red flags. The PCR test being one, that archived footage of Carrie Mullis, who just so happened to die in August, right before the pandemic, right? He very, he very point blank just says, the PCR is not used to test anything. And yet in our brains, people treated the test like it was a pregnancy test. You're positive or you're negative. And that's not, they capitalized on your not understanding it, which is what they did through the whole thing. They did that through the whole damn thing. They just knew, as long as we say it enough and we just, you're making dinner and you're listening to CNN and I got to get myself a PCR test so I know if I'm, but you have no idea, you never even heard the term PCR before. Right? You had no idea how it worked. They knew that. Then the little home things. Oh boy. It just, sometimes when you look back on it, you're just like, wow. Yeah. So but is anybody even paying attention to this? It's a little late, right? We got new problems now. We got a Muslim invasion. We got election stuff. We got new problems. It's just incredible, really. It's truly very incredible. Jillian Michaels. Now, have you been paying attention to her? Because I would say, she's been what you call, I think, red-pilled maybe. But I don't know about that. Again, you go back to what Lauren Southern was saying about people getting paid and everything. It's like, man, what is happening here? So anyway, this is what she has to say about ACIP. ACIP is the pharmaceutical panel, the vaccine panel. Sorry, not the pharmaceutical panel. The vaccine panel that, says yay or nay on the vaccines. Yeah, this is what she kind of found out about that. Take a listen.
When I reached out to Kennedy's head of comms, here's what they told me. Not one member of the ACIP ever rejected one vaccine. Not once, not ever, despite the fact that some of them were later removed for safety concerns. Next, 97% of them never bothered to fill out a conflict waiver, which is ironic because now the New York Times is going after some of his picks, suggesting that they worked with pharma companies. All right. She's not a doctor, my bad. Charlotte Moser, who was on one of the ACIP members he filed, her best credential was a master's degree in communications. And she advocated for restricting unvaccinated people from parks, pools, water parks, government buildings, theaters, sports venues, shopping centers, and other public accommodations. And last but not least, Noel Brewer, who was also fired by Kennedy, received vaccine-related grants and compensation from Merck, Pfizer, and GlaxoSmithKline.
Oh, yeah. You know, like, I guess this is old news. You know what I mean? It's interesting to see people come to the realization of how the world really works. But like, are we really just here? Like, I'm at the point now where I'm like, yeah, no, you know, you're like, yeah, hello, where you been? You know, where have you been? Who cares? We're not going to change this dynamic of corporate capture, pay to play. You know, we're not going to change this dynamic. We're not going to change it through politicians, through, you know, I'm telling you, I've said this many times, like, yeah, we've got some good people in, I think. Like, I think Bobby Kennedy's a good person, and I think, you know, we have some good people in. But listen to me. They are begging you to take your power back, because without you understanding who you are as an American and the rights that you have and exercising those rights, they're not going to be able to do anything. That's why I don't spend my time, you know, talking about politics, left, right, because you know where the power is? It's with you. It's you. It's you. It's your mom. It's your dad. It's your aunt. It's your uncle. It's your kids. It's your bowling league. It's your community. That's where the power lies, right? When you're like, you know what? I got this stiff neck and I went to my doctor and they gave me pain pills, but I know pain pills make me constipated. They screw up my gut. I could be addicted to them in no time flat. And so, like, you know what? Why do I even go there anymore? I'm going to go see my acupuncturist. That's a problem. Because then you go to the acupuncturist and guess what? It works. And then you tell your friend, oh my gosh, they wanted to give me these pain pills. Ruin my gut microbiome, make me constipated, possibly put me at risk for addiction. I went to this acupuncturist. Puts a few needles in me and I feel great. This totally changes everything, right? Because now your friends are like, what? What? What do you mean? Hey, you know what? I threw my back out the other day. What was the name of your acupuncturist you were talking about? Take your power back. I know you got to pay out of pocket. So here's your choice. Keep funding the enemy. Keep funding them just in case, right? Maybe. They're not even selling anything you want. But you're funding them because what? Because you don't want to pay out of pocket to an acupuncturist. You can't, like, just see, it just doesn't make any sense. The whole thing, the whole infrastructure requires you to suspend your belief and dive into your fear. Welcome, Jillian Michaels. You're a few years behind. It's okay. Come on now. I don't know. Anyone that got conned into the vax, I tell you. Stay tuned, everybody. Your health topic is up next.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
welcome back. Visit the naturallyinspiredstore.com. Do you take wellness products? Are you looking for better solutions for, anti-aging strategies? Like, maybe you don't want to do Botox. Maybe you don't want to, the fillers are looking a little weird to you. I know they're looking a little weird to me. And maybe you're like, I don't want to do that, but I do want to protect my skin. I do want to feel my best, but I don't want to be putting my health at risk to do those things. Then you're like me. I love all that stuff, the makeup and the hair and all that. I love that stuff, but I don't want to put my health at risk for it. And that's why I partner with a Clean Line. They're environmental working group approved. They have peptide pens. They have a whole skincare product line I love, and it's all clean. It's all clean and doesn't come with any phthalates or any kind of chemicals. You could check it out at naturallyinspiredstore.com today. Don't forget, just by being a customer of Naturally Inspired, you get access to my health text line. You get to join our Tuesday night weekly wellness workshops. You get so many benefits just for being a customer with Naturally Inspired. So join us today, naturallyinspiredstore.com. If you purchase wellness products, I guarantee you'll find a product that you love with us. naturallyinspiredstore.com. Okay, today's health topic I wanted to talk about was depression. This is a really interesting topic because most people, I think, are prone to believing that depression is a chemical imbalance. And that was a lie. It's a lie that, again, they're counting on people not truly looking into the theories behind things. And it was a simple way for a pharmaceutical company to sell pills. Like the more they can simplify it, the better. It's like, oh, you have this label, so you take this pill to fix this thing. So people are like, oh, depression is just a chemical imbalance. Mental illness is just a chemical imbalance. Take this chemical, i.e. pharmaceutical, boom, you're fixed. But the problem is most people report they don't feel fixed. They don't feel fixed. Most people report they feel numb. They feel empty. They lose sexual function. They have gut issues, inflammation issues. Then another pill comes to medicate the side effects from the first pill. And we have polypharmacy, and it just goes on from there. And people don't really get relief. And I think, and it's just my opinion, I'm not a doctor and I don't give medical advice, but I think there's something deeper. I don't think depression is just all in your head. I don't think mental illness is just all in your head. No, I think it's probably in your body. And it could be in your body because of trauma, repressed trauma that you store in your tissues because the body always keeps score. I think metabolically it's linked. And in fact, here's some research that says just the same thing. So the brain and body are metabolically linked. Depression isn't just in your head. It's often a symptom of what's happening in your body. The brain uses more energy than any other organ. So when metabolism is disrupted, I talk about the congestion at the cellular level, mood and motivation are among the first things to suffer. Mitochondrial dysfunction affects mood. So the mitochondria are your body's little power plants. We talk about them here all the time. When they're sluggish from inflammation, right? Things like insulin resistance at play here, poor nutrition, or even toxic exposure. Toxic exposure, just like when we go back to those, chemtrails that are supposedly a conspiracy theory, because we have an epidemic of mental illness as well in the country. So from when they're sluggish from inflammation, poor nutrition, toxic exposure, the brain can't make enough energy for neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine. And this leads to fatigue, brain fog, and low mood. Insulin resistance and depression actually go hand in hand. So research shows people with insulin resistance or metabolic syndrome are 2 to 3 times more likely to experience depression. When blood sugar swings go up and down, it destabilizes energy, it destabilizes hormones, and emotional regulation. Chronic inflammation also drives depressive symptoms. So inflammatory cytokines can cross the blood-brain barrier and suppress serotonin production. In other words, long-term inflammation from processed foods, stress, lack of movement can literally turn down your brain's feel-goodness. I mean, just think about it. You feel lethargic, you feel down, maybe you're experiencing edema, everything's congested. How are you supposed to feel light and happy? We're not separate from our brains. You know, we're synergistic beings. I say it all the time. I'm a broken record about it, but really, we are. You can't just compartmentalize your health. Oh, I've got a problem from my neck up. My body's fine. No, this doesn't work that way. Chronic inflammation. So the gut-brain axis plays a huge role too. And we talk about this a lot, especially when we have Gabe from Good Brew on. Up to 90% of serotonin is produced in your gut. So when the microbiome is unbalanced from poor diet, say things like antibiotics or stress, the gut can't send healthy signals to the brain, often leading to anxiety and depressive symptoms. Gut's huge. Gut's huge. We're finding that out. And hopefully, we're going to find out more on the gut-brain axis as well when it comes to things like autism. It's going to be so interesting if we keep pushing, if we keep pushing for the answers and if we keep not buying in to the BS that they're pumping out. Oh, no, it doesn't have anything to do with that. That's a conspiracy theory. Like, are you done with that yet? Because I was done with it a long time ago. I'm done with all the rhetoric, especially. Yeah, anti-vaxxer. Yes. Thank you. Is that supposed to be an insult? Because it's not. It just doesn't, conspiracy theorist isn't even an insult. Like, I don't even know. Your words mean nothing. They mean nothing. Lifestyle and metabolic repair can lift mood. So movement, sunlight, protein rich. Telling ya. I am telling you 2 things I would tell you. Increase your protein and build muscle. Like those 2 things, if you just did those 2 things, you'd get different results. So important because the muscle works as a bit of a sponge. It gets the fuel where it's supposed to go. No lack of movement, lack of muscle. Yeah, it's a lot harder to get things moving, get that energy movement happening. So movement, sunlight, protein-rich nutrition, hydration, super important to hydrate with electrolytes, consistent sleep. We know we've completely underestimated sleep when it comes to metabolic medicine. Maybe you don't need a sleeping pill, right? Maybe you don't need a sleeping pill. Maybe you need a sleep hygiene protocol. Maybe you need to unplug from the portal. This thing's hypnotic. Even the strongest of the strong, gets sucked into the portal. And the portal disrupts your sleep for sure, amongst a whole other list of symptoms. So when this is happening, let's see, they restore insulin sensitivity, just movement, sunlight, and sleep. They restore insulin sensitivity, lower inflammation, improves mitochondrial efficiency. It leads to better emotional resilience without pharmaceuticals. Just that. Imagine if you went to a doctor and they prescribed you, okay, high protein diet, no carbohydrates, low sugar, you've got to weight lift. You've got to get to bed on time. You've got to limit your phone use. You've got to get out in sunlight every morning. You've got to hydrate with electrolytes. Oh no, this doctor's sounding like me. I'm not a doctor. But that doctor I was, doing an impression of, that sounds a lot like me. And then wouldn't you know it, things turn around. Just like a little bit of encouragement, a little support, and a formula, things improve. Now, maybe not everything improves, but we don't even know like what we're really working on until we get the basics in place, Then we can start to see, oh, okay, we've got a little more issue here, maybe in a joint or something. But until we get the inflammation down, the protein up, the sleep fixed, the movement fixed, the sunlight, the compelling future, must have a compelling future. You got to have a plan, right? What am I looking forward to every day? What excites me? Because if you don't have a compelling future, then it's pretty easy to fall into depression. Pretty easy to fall into what ails you when you don't have a compelling future lined out for yourself. You've got to have one. It's your hope. And you've got to have it. So depression is a signal, but it's not a sentence. Okay? When we treat depression as a metabolic message and not a character flaw or a personality flaw, healing becomes possible. So addressing nutrition, addressing inflammation, addressing lifestyle habits, getting some support, getting in a community, aligning around people that have your best interests in mind, not being a people pleaser, but really tapping into your own creativity and your own purpose. You can turn the lights on for excitement in your life by reconnecting to purpose. I've seen it. I've been around people who, they're fighting against their bodies. They're in a fight against their autoimmune disease or their disease. But, they start to get a little passionate about something. And they start thinking, wow, I could really do something here. And suddenly the signals, they start getting a little less loud. And then, they add in the nutrition and they add in all these things and they start getting into a habit and a routine. And it's like, woo, they just start taking off. And you're like, whoa, who is this person? I see it every day. It is my pleasure to see it every day. It's the thing that keeps me showing up here, even when it's difficult. Even when days like today, when I hear, Lauren Southern telling me that all the algorithms are bought and paid for, and you'll never get your message out. You'll never be able to do this. It's the conversations I have with you that keep me going. It's the impact I'm having on you. So I'm grateful for you letting me do that. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia, and I'm so glad you joined me today. See you tomorrow.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.